In a world drowning in noise, where everyone's shouting and few are listening, what if the truth isn't hidden, just distorted? Rumi, the ancient Persian sage, once spun a tale that resonates more powerfully today than ever before. The story of a king, a shattered bottle, and a heart blinded by its own convictions. This is the tale of how prejudice can make even the wisest see double. Picture a land where empires clashed and prophets walked. There ruled a king among the Jews, powerful and proud, but his pride was poisoned. He despised Jesus with a fury that burned like wildfire. Though the age belonged to Christ, this king clung desperately to Moses. Not out of love, mind you, but out of possession. He claimed to champion the spirit of the law, yet crushed those who followed the carpenter from Nazareth beneath his gilded sandals. In his mind, this was righteousness incarnate. In truth, it was fear and rage cloaked in the robes of tradition. The king surrounded himself with yes-men, each one a mirror reflecting back his own twisted views. They whispered of threats to their way of life, of blasphemers who dared challenge the old order. And with each whisper, the king's heart hardened further. He saw enemies where there were only neighbors, traitors where there were only seekers of truth. The world outside his palace walls became a place of shadows and threats, all because he refused to see with clear eyes. Now, Rumi takes us to a humble room, far from the grandeur of palaces. A wise teacher calls to a student who is cross-eyed. "Go into that room," the teacher instructs, "and bring me the glass bottle." The student enters, pauses, then calls back with confusion in his voice. "Which one? There are 2 bottles here." The teacher's brow furrows. "There is only one," he says patiently. "You're seeing double." But the student, certain of his perception, digs in his heels. Frustration builds, turning quickly to anger. He storms into the room and with a cry of defiance smashes one of the bottles. In that shattering moment, both vanish from his sight. This is no story about bottles, Rumi is telling us. Your desire, your anger, your pride, they twist what you see. You think you're standing for truth. When you're only serving your ego, the king saw 2 truths, Moses and Jesus. But in his hatred, he smashed one, and with that, he lost sight of both. He became blind, a spiritual cross-eyed, not by nature, but by emotion. We too live in an age of digital echo chambers and algorithmic bubbles. Our news feeds and recommended videos reinforce what we already believe, making it harder and harder to see beyond our own perspective. Like that ancient king, we risk becoming blind to the full picture. We see threats where there are only differences. We smash the other side without realizing we're shattering the very truth we claim to defend. But Rumi's tale doesn't end in despair. It's a call to action, a reminder that true wisdom comes from questioning our own certainties. What if instead of smashing the other bottle, we paused? What if we considered that our vision might be clouded by our own biases and fears? The first step is acknowledging that we all have blind spots. The next is actively seeking out perspectives that challenge our own. It's not about abandoning our beliefs, but about holding them with an open hand rather than a clenched fist. Imagine the ripple effect if we approach conversations with curiosity instead of judgment, if we listened to understand, not just to respond. If we saw those who disagree with us not as enemies, but as fellow travelers on the path to truth, one person choosing empathy over anger can change a conversation. A community choosing understanding over division can heal wounds that have festered for generations. Let's return to that simple room one last time. Imagine the student, humbled by his mistake, picking up the shards of glass. As he does, he notices how the light catches each piece, reflecting a tiny fragment of the world around him. He realizes that truth, like that bottle, is often more complex than it first appears. It requires us to look from multiple angles to piece together a fuller picture from many perspectives. So here's our challenge. Inspired by Rumi's timeless wisdom, the next time you encounter an idea that makes your blood boil or a person whose views seem incomprehensible, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what am I not seeing? What truth might be hiding in the blind spot of my own convictions? It's not easy. It takes courage to question our own certainties. But in doing so, we might just find that the world is richer, more nuanced, and more beautiful than we ever imagined. Remember, the truth isn't always hidden. Sometimes it's just waiting for us to clear our vision and truly see. This has been The Shattered Truth. Rumi's Tale of the Blind King. A reminder that in a world of distorted mirrors, the clearest reflection often comes from the pieces we were too quick to break. Because truth doesn't shout, it whispers. Thank you for watching. And remember, the next time you're tempted to smash that bottle, try picking it up instead. You might be surprised by what you see.